But week two, let's talk about week two. But here's the thing too, and this is where again, like I feel like I have to read both sides of the cards for us. Um, I always look at this card, the Six of Swords. I always look at it as a self imprisonment, because if you notice, these swords are in front, and it looks like bars to them, and it looks like they're defeated, and it looks like they're giving up, right? Um, they don't realize there are three open sides, because if they push this orange guy out of the way, they can be free, right? They can actually take control of the boat. They can actually steer it, or they can grab one of the doggone things and handle business. But instead, they let that be their prison. Heart of Darkness by Candide. It's something that we all should have read in high school back in the 90s. I just never read any of the books they assigned. I was too busy reading Harlequins and Silhouettes. And Mary Higgins Clark, I loved her. I can't read her now because it makes me scared of people. But yeah. Oh, Joseph Conrad, excuse me. Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness. It was about Belgian company in the African countries. Um, so yeah, it basically touches on it. King Leopold was a monster. And if you notice, I don't know if you guys noticed, but during 2020, they tore down his statue, King Leopold's statue in Belgium. I was like, yes. Oh God, I felt so good in 2020. I was like, look at the world, it's waking up. And then y'all let these people do bots and messaging and change us back to being broken. I don't know, Louisa. Lulu, you got to figure that out. Anyway, so this is where people are. And honestly, this is where I was too. I won't lie. Holding on to the past. And I mean the past, like looking way, way, way back. I mean the past, like this is not how I grew up. Like I didn't know any of this stuff. I wish I didn't know any of this stuff. Or like even with my own health scares and stuff. Speaking of, even with my own health scares, it's like I used to be so athletic. I used to be able to do these things. I want mega knees. I popped my knee in the club and I never went to therapy, so I can't do mega knees. But anyway, so holding on to the past doesn't have to be like make America great again type of thing. It could just be like, where's the America I thought I knew, right? And so I was stuck on that. I was stuck on that a little bit myself. The topic I'm reading, and it's taking so long to read, is November. The energies of November. So people are gonna again, you saw what the first week was. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna feel it the first week, don't sit in it the second week. But some people are still gonna sit in. So there's gonna be stagnation for some people. There's gonna be fear of change, of course, because y'all, we're literally saying, and this is, I got some fear around this too. I'm not gonna lie, I do. We're literally saying, get rid of everything, burn it all down. Like literally, burn it all down. Because they have exposed that none of this works, right? They've exposed that none of this works. And I can actually appreciate the exposure. Thank you, Desi. I can appreciate the exposure because on one hand, my radicalization, I guess, was Trayvon Martin, right? Because I never experienced really racism here. Like, I experienced it in Spain. I wrote a whole poem that I lost in my storage. But I wrote a whole poem of like, thank God this isn't in my house. This isn't in America. Liv told this girl, no, I was 21 when I wrote that poem. Little did I know. Right? So for me, it was Trayvon Martin. A little bit earlier, it was 9/11 because I watched how people acted towards Muslims. I'm like, really? We're going to do this? Like, it was just crazy. But this was it for me. And it broke my heart because it just kept happening. So it was him, and then it was Tamir Rice, where the police just rolled up on him and shot him in his leg. What? And then you find out the guy wasn't even supposed to be a police officer anymore. He messed up, and his other thing, so he wasn't supposed to be one again, and he was. It was just crazy. And it was just like Tamir Rice, and then like the names just kept going on: Alton Sterling, Eric Gardner, Mike Brown over and over and over again, and then just watching white people go, but all lives matter. And it's like, okay, so that means Black lives matter too, right? No, all lives matter. Okay, so do Black lives matter? All lives matter. Okay, but do Black lives also matter? All lives matter. Okay, you missed it because you don't believe all lives matter. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. I have been in heartbreak since. Heartbreak since. Oh, I don't know if that'll ever happen again. Like, what I don't think people understand about this moment, because they might be looking at themselves as just making a mistake, or just trying to do good, or whatever they thought it was, but they have permanently scarred this country. And black people will have a black people, Hispanic people are going to have a very, very, very hard time trusting white people again, because people who didn't do politics let the people who did be loudest when y'all should have been speaking up too. You know what I mean? And now I'm watching people make videos like, oh, I never talked about politics, but now it's all I talk about. I'm like, you're to blame. Because when people were saying they're doing this to us because it didn't happen to you, you didn't think it was important. You know what I mean? So now the things that people have gone through, you now actually see and understand. Wait, they're trying to get all brown people. Wait, that's racist. Wait, they're going after black people who are citizens. That's not right. Wait a second. Is this racism? Wait, they're sending people to Africa. That is horrible, to go into prison. Wait, it's like the deconstructing is wild. I'm like, but I've been there. I know y'all got to go through it. It took me years. It took me years. But I do know they will never trust you again. Not this generation. Maybe the next one. But those of us who got to watch this, you got to earn that trust. And it's going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard. Especially because they keep putting out the messaging that 30% of people are still supporting him. That's bullshit. Those are lies. 30% of people are not still supporting him. But because they keep putting it out, people think it's okay. And it's like, he's not supported by 30%. Maybe I'll probably give you like maybe 17%. It's not 30. I don't even think it's in the 20s. But a lot of people are not supporting him, not because they learned better, but just because they're hurting. And that's the other thing that we understand, is that a lot of people are coming to our side, not because they learned, but because they're hurt. And so it's like, have you learned yet? No, like, they need to come here legally. Okay, yeah, you didn't learn yet. You're still saying the same things. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that's that. And that's what the problem is, though. That's literally what the problem is that there's some stagnation here. We're resisting the transition. I know it's mental cognitive distance, and that's hard to get through. But it's like, in this time, you got to force that shit. Like, we can't wait on you. And, like, we can't wait on you. Like, force it. Force the change. But let's talk about us, though. Those of us who don't need to be forced to change anymore, what are we supposed to be doing? We're supposed to embrace this transition, right? This is the energy for November. We've got to start embracing this. Stop. Let me take that back, because I was going to say stop watching the flames burn. That's not true. You still have to keep an eye on the flame, right? You still have to keep eye out for the flame, so that you're protecting yourself and your neighbor. But you can't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you. You need to be working on your transition. You need to be working on your personal growth. And I'm not picking up travel. Not as part of the message for that, obviously. The travel is ahead in November. It is, for some people. But one thing I can get is make a plan to travel. Like, after this is done, if you don't already have your passport due, get one, because you need to see the world. You need to understand what else is happening in the world, and you need to see it firsthand, not in tourist spots, but in getting lost off the path. That's the best thing when you go traveling. Not in Puerto Rico, though, because you don't want to wander into the wrong city. I love Puerto Rico. I think I had a past life there, but There are certain places you do stay away from because they don't like what's happening there, the gentrification. But anyway, so, but we got to work on this. And these all feel like double messages. So this is where it's going to feel like the energy is. It's going to feel like nothing's changing. It's going to feel like they're winning. It's going to feel like that. But understand the focus of this is for those of us who don't need to deconstruct anymore. We just need to be building. This is where you need to be. Okay. Double messages, bro. All right. So here's the other thing. It came out this way. And so then we got the devil card. Right? Again, it feels like don't watch him. Don't be watching him. Don't let him take over your mind, right? So the word here is freedom, release, overcoming the addiction of bad news, for instance, overcoming the addiction of doom scrolling, for instance, breaking free from the limitations that are put on us by these algorithms, by our upbringing, by our own fears. Like, this is where we're to be. And this is, I think, where they're going to start going. This feels like a fracture is going to start happening around the second week of November, even for the other crew, right? Meanwhile, they think they're sitting on a throne. They think they have us vulnerable and submitted to them, right? So that's what they think is going on. Is that, they're using these algorithms and stuff to do that. But what's actually happening is, like, with all the censorship and whatnot, people are actually starting to lose their addiction. They're starting to look for other things. Now, the key word here is face your fears. Don't be afraid, and don't let the devil win. That's a huge, huge, huge message for week 2. Week 2 is going to be, get moving, get out of your own stagnation, and start moving, start working on your own progress. It's going to be to walk away and to let go from things. And y'all, for some of y'all, it's going to be family. It is going to be family. And I know that's the hurtful part. And I think that's what a lot of white America is struggling with. Not so much everybody else, but white America. Because y'all got MAGA family members. And it's crazy that they're that entrenched. But again, it's a mental thing, right? So for some of them, you are going to have to walk away. And that is going to have to be the pain that they feel for them. Okay? You have to set your boundaries. And we've been talking about that for years, about setting your boundaries. From his first administration, we said, set your boundaries. We said, be aware of the dinner table. You know what I mean? Like, Thanksgiving gets there. If somebody wants to say something slick, call them out on the slick. Okay? Like, don't let slick ride no more, because look what it creates. It creates this bubble for them. Don't let slick ride anymore. And you don't get in an argument. Oh, no. Don't go back and forth with them. Oh, no. Some of those people enjoy that. Like, they get off on it. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel heard. It makes them feel superior. You don't. You belittle them. Oh, you're still on that? Oh, my God. You haven't evolved yet? I'm not even for the gray rocking. I'm not even for gray rocking, because gray rocking still feels like permission, right? It is. Oh, y'all still on that? No. Oh, you still believe him? Okay. Like, it, just little things like, for real? Like, not overly like, damn, you stupid as hell. It's like, oh, you still believe that? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, you still watch Fox News? Okay. I would have thought you've evolved by now. Yeah, exactly. I would have thought you learned already. But okay. How much longer is it going to take? Like, let them feel some of that stupid. Don't let people argue with you. They don't get to argue with you. They don't get your energy. They don't get your emotions, because we are the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, baby. You don't get no more of this. But one of those things, the thing that I have realized these people hate most is being made fun of. Because those shadows, ooh-wee, them shadows are big, baby. Their daddy didn't like them. Their mama didn't like them. Their classmates didn't like them. Some of them got beat up and bullied. When I tell you the way to win is belittling them. Oh, heck yeah. Evil Incorporated. Okay. Week 3.